Okay, yesterday we were in the middle of that there's 245 words in Shema, and there's 248 limbs, and there's 248 mitzvahs. So therefore, you try to somehow get the extra 3 words into Shema. So if you're davening with a minyan, when you listen to the Chazan say Hashem Elokeichem Emes, those 3 words, you listen to it's like you said it, so you have the 248. What happens if you're davening without a minyan? So some people say before Shema, Kel Melech Ne'amon, which is the acronym for Amen. In Chabad, Alter Rebbe writes that what we do is, when we say the end of Shema, Ani Hashem Elokeichem Asher Etzeisi Eschem Meretz Mitzrayim Le'esel Lechem Le'Elokim, we say Ani Hashem Elokeichem, Ani Hashem Elokeichem Emes. What does the Chazan do? That's what everybody, if you're not davening with him, the Chazan, what does he do? So he says that he's finishing Shema. So Ani Hashem Elokeichem Asher Etzeisi Eschem Meretz Lechem Le'Elokim, Ani Hashem Elokeichem Emes. And then he says Hashem Elokeichem Emes. He doesn't say Ani Hashem Elokeichem twice. He finishes the Shema and that says Hashem Elokeichem Emes. In fact, we discussed in Shulchan Aruch, it says an interesting thing. If the Chazan says out loud Ani Hashem Elokeichem Emes, you scream at him. What do you mean Ani Hashem Elokeichem? What do you mean? You scream out I am God. So you scream what?
You finish saying it as a Chazan all the way through. The only thing the Chazan repeats for the Aruch is Hashem Elokeichem Emes.
Right.
But you have to say Emet also, so he's going to have another word.
No, Chazan says Hashem Elokeichem Emes. Now, the question is, do women also do that? Why? Because the Gemara in Bechiris says that a woman doesn't have 248 limbs, she has 252 limbs. So the question is, do women add also the 3 words? Ani Hashem Elokeichem, Ani Hashem Elokeichem Emes. So the Minchas Elazar writes, the great Munkacher Rebbe, said that you do say, women also say it, because it corresponds not only with the limbs of a person, it corresponds with the 248 positive mitzvahs, which are also the 248 limbs of Hashem. So therefore women also say it. Okay, now what happens? Somebody comes into shul and the minyan is saying Shema. What do you do? So the best thing, the Alter Rebbe writes, is you should say the whole Shema. Again, you davened already, you just, come into shul. Or you didn't start davening yet, whatever. The minyan is saying Shema. The Alter Rebbe writes, the best thing is you say all 3 paragraphs of Shema with the minyan. What happens if not? But the Alter Rebbe writes, technically the first pasuk is enough. If you say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, that's enough. Best is to say all 3 parshas of Shema. Now it's interesting, it's not only Shema. For instance, there's other things also that if you walk into shul, that you come in late, you should also do, for instance, if you walk into shul, the minyan saying Aleinu, you should say Aleinu with the minyan. At least the first paragraph. You walk into a minyan, they're saying Avinu Malkeinu. So fast there, it says you made tshuva. You say Avinu Malkeinu with the minyan. Things that are public nature, that what? Halal. If you're davening, if you're going to be davening, halachically, then you say halal with the minyan, and then you daven. The Rebbe Rashab told somebody, you're mixing up so our meaning is you daven and then you don't say halal, you say halal separate. But I'm saying, you're right, if a guy walks into shul, he davened already, and the minyan is saying halal, the right thing is to say halal with the minyan.
Even though he said halal already.
Yeah.
The 3 extra words for Shema is only for man. But without bracha, no?
What?
The 3 extra words said for Shema is only for man, is what he says Shema, right?
Yeah, by Rabbeinu times we don't do it. By Krishma before going to bed we do it. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Or if even Kitzur brings down if the minyan is saying Ashrei. You walk in, you daven mincha already, let's say. And the minyan saying Ashrei, you should say Ashrei with the minyan.
If they say Hallel,
You say, and you already daven and say Hallel. You say it with them without the bracha.
Oh, definitely without a bracha.
You
Okay.
say L'chaim with the bracha.
Yeah, if you make a shahakal, yeah. If you say l'chaim and wine, then you make a very piagosif.
Or just,
If you make l'chaim and grape juice,
Don't even make the bracha.
don't make L'chaim.
well, you have to make a bracha on the grape juice, but not. Okay. Next is the dinam of Shemona Esrei, okay, of Shachris, or any Shemona Esrei that matter. The best time to daven mincha, the Shachris Shemona Esrei, the Amidah, is sunrise. So therefore, the best thing to do, Shulchan Aruch says, Chassidim don't do that. But Shulchan Aruch says, the best thing is to do, you say Shema right before the sunrise, and then you daven the Shemona Esrei, the Amidah, at sunrise. That's why you have, by the Sephardim, a lot of the Sephardic Jews do this. They have a netz minyan, it's called, a sunrise minyan. How do they work out the sun? It's also different times. What they do is, they start it at a time where they figure out the Shema they'll get to right before sunrise, and the Shemona Esrei Amidah mamish at sunrise. So this is what says Grad in Shulchan Aruch is the best way of doing it. By Chassidus is a whole different. You have to prepare yourself for davening. It's a whole different style of davening. Now, how late can you daven Shachris?
Ask Sulam.
Yeah. So according to Halacha, you're supposed to daven Shachris. Remember, Krishma was up to a quarter of the day, which is 3 hours. Shemona Esrei of Shachris, you have to daven before a third of the day, which is 4 hours. That means, let's say these days, I'll give you an example. Let's say these days, Krishma, I think, was what, 9:15? I'll tell you in a second. One second. Let's just discuss this.
Yes.
Okay. Kiss of 11. How does it get to there?
Mine says 9:16.
You're about to say 9:16 this morning.
Okay, this is December, the 11th of Kislev. So the latest Shema would be 9:16. I'm talking about 3 days ago. And the latest davening would be 10:06 in the morning. The latest time for Shemona Esrei. Because again, in the winter, the halachic hours are less than 16 minutes because it's a shorter day, right? Now, what that means is that lechatchila, you're not supposed to daven the Shemona Esrei after 10:06 these days. Okay? By Chassidim, we know we start Shabbos 10 o'clock. A lot of shul, we start 9:30, but I'm saying a lot of shul start 10 o'clock davening. So then, you could it's brought down a lot of tshuvas from the Eretz Tzvi, was the Talmud of Davening Nezer. He brings down a lot of reasons why Chassidim daven after Zman Tefillah. Why they daven Shemona Esrei even after the Zman. But the Rebbe writes in a letter, you should not daven after Chatzos. You should not daven after midday. Meaning, Amidah should not be done after midday, which these days I think is something like 11:34, 11:35, something like that, would be the time that your Rebbe writes clearly you shouldn't daven Shemona Esrei. Now, obviously, because halachically, if you didn't daven Shachris until Mincha time, halachically you can't make up Shachris anymore.
Only after me.
Then Mincha you daven 2 Shemona Esreis, 2 Amidas for Mincha. Okay, because that's what it says clearly in Shulchan Aruch, and now the Rebbe says that in Shulchan Aruch also. Once you come to midday, where you're not allowed to daven anymore halachically, you're not allowed to daven Shemona Esrei, so then you blew it, you have to daven 2 Shemona Esrei Mincha. The fact is, though, that in the Hasidic world, and there's reasons for this and everything, they'll daven, bottom line, the guy is 1 o'clock, he didn't daven Shachar, you said, what do you do? So if he asks a Rav, in halacha, you daven 2 minchas. In the Chassidic world, they'll tell him, hurry up and go daven Shachar. They'll put on tefillin and say Shema, which anyway, it's too late for Shema, because Shema was much earlier. Yeah, and then they'll...
So it's okay to daven mincha and tefillin if you're saying 2 Shemona Esreis?
Why not? But you don't have to daven mincha and tefillin. You can put it on before mincha and say Shema.
You take them off.
If somebody wants to daven mincha, they can daven mincha.
But you mentioned that.
By the way, once a year, halachically, we all daven mincha in Rashi tefillin. That's Tisha B'Av. On Tisha B'Av,
Not more.
huh?
Hopefully not anymore.
Right, but Tisha B'Av, we don't put on tefillin in the morning. Some Sfaradim do, by the way, but we don't put on tefillin in the morning. So mincha, we daven in Rashi's tefillin.
Why can't you down with tefillin on?
I'm not saying you can't. You could. But if somebody wanted to make a time for Krishma in the morning, and they know they really should put on tefillin then and say Shema, because they know they're going to be davening much later. Okay.